This is Tony from Cooking Around. Welcome to my channel and to my new video on vegetarian meatloaf. My girlfriend's a vegetarian, so I had to change it to using vegetables instead of using meat. It's not really 100% vegan, but it is vegetarian. So what I'm going to do in two parts. I'm going to have the regular part, the outside that looks like a meatloaf, and inside I'm going to have some type of another vegetarian, the lighted side, which you're going to see. So pan's going, it's hot. We take some butter. You can use a little bit more, you can use a little bit less, whatever you like. Spin that around. Can make sure that the heat is on medium and not too high. There we go. And what we do is we take the onions and we put the onions inside. And we're just going to let them cook around until they become a little translucent. And add a little bit of salt. Some people don't like to add it at this stage. I really don't care. As long as it goes in, as long as it smells good, as long as the end result is good and you are happy, everything's fine. So we'll let that cook for a few minutes. Okay, that's going along nicely. Now, just going to turn up the heat just a little notch here, because with onions, there's a big difference between frying them and steaming them. So as the moisture comes out, sometimes what you're doing, you're kind of like boiling them, so the temperature has to be right. And when you hear that sound that it's making right now, you know it's fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add half of a green sweet pepper. And the onion, I use a small medium onion. So I'm going to let that cook for a few minutes. And while that's cooking, I'm going to prepare the parsley. Now the parsley, I'm cutting just basically rough. I don't want to cut it any other way rough, but we put that to the side because I'm doing that later. Good. Now what we do is we wait until the onions become a little bit transparent, which they're almost there, and we don't have to fully cook them because we are then going to bake this. Now that's done. Now we're going to take some spinach, which this is already have been washed, and I like to put the spinach in first. Now I'm not going to cut it because it's small. Because what happens is, if I don't put the spinach in first and it reduces in size, then we're going to have holes or air pockets in my meatloaf. So we let that go there. And that's coming along very nicely. We'll just flip that around a little bit. There we go. It's going along very, very nicely. Now you can see it's already starting to reduce. So at this point you can see if you want to put in more spinach or less. I figure just another handful should do it. There we go. And now I'm going to add just a little bit more salt to it. And we let that cook. And we won't just go around. Whoa! And got away. It's okay to get away. We don't have to cook it all the way. I just want it to be reduced. Now, that's done. Turn off the heat. And what we do is we take another bowl here. We take one egg, which has been slightly beaten. We put that into the big bowl. And now, what do? Now we add some fresh black pepper. Remember what I said, always fresh. None of that other stuff. I'm not adding any salt in here because I already put the salt in the mixture. And now we add about, I say 1/3 cup or closer to half a cup of breadcrumbs. So hope this breadcrumbs is Polish, what it says, but there you go, we add some breadcrumbs there. And now we take our mixture that we have done a few minutes ago and we put that into our egg and breadcrumb mixture. Oh, smells absolutely delicious. And now we take about, I say about close to half a cup of parsley, or a little bit less, or a little bit more if you like, and we put that all in there. And then we just mix it all around. Now as you can see, it was a lot of spinach went in, and it really reduced quite a bit. So just keep on mixing until you get exactly the way you want it. There's the mixture for inside. Now what we do is we start on the other section, which we could call the meatless part. So here we are. We're not going to be using any meat, we're going to be using a soya, and I'm in Poland, and really the only soya I could find was this dried soya here, which I just prepared just before I went on video. And what I did was I just boiled it and put it in for 5 minutes and then removed it. So this is what we're going to use. It is a soya. They call it koleta sjowa or something like that here, but you can get that here. The Polish people know what it is. If you can't find this, you can always use vegetarian hamburger. You can use that, or you can use fresh soya, but you have to make sure it's well drained before you use it. I couldn't find that here, so I'm going to have to make some videos and show you how to make our own fresh soya. So here is what we use, and as you can see, this is the soya cutlets that have been boiled for about 5 minutes, and they're very soft. So we're going to use this as a meat substitute. So we put all that inside here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add a little more fresh black pepper. I like it a lot, but my girlfriend doesn't like that much, so I cannot put that much. And of course we're going to put in more salt. Because this is kosher salt, seems to be less strong than the regular salt, so I have to use a little bit more. Now what we do is we take 2 cloves of garlic and we put that in there, and it also calls for 1 egg, but we are going to put the egg in later. So that's in there now, and what we're going to do is we are going to get this thing ready, and we're just going to, now if you are going to mix this to bring the bigger pieces down, always use a wooden spoon, because if you use a metallic object like a spoon or a knife and it hits your blades, it's just going to dull your blades out. Alright, there we go, now we got it down. So now what we do is we put 1 egg in, very good, and we take about, what? About 3/4 of a cup of cheese. You can use any kind of cheese, mozzarella, whatever you like. I'm using Swiss. This is my favorite cheese, and this is the one I like to use. So I put that one inside. Here I'm not going to use breadcrumbs. Here I have some leftover bread, and I'm going to be using this leftover bread here. I find that I like the bread sometimes better than the breadcrumbs. And now we put it back there again, and here we go. And it's basically done. Now I'm going to transfer this to another bowl. Is our mixture. If you find little pieces of bread or little small pieces of cheese in it that get completely blended, don't worry about it. It's all in good taste. So now we take that, and now I'm going to try to make it taste more like meat. So I'm going to take a little bit of Lee & Perry's, which is almost like a Worcestershire sauce, and we are going to give it a little dab from that. Not too much, it's very potent. And I take a bit of Maggi or Margie or Maggi, the way they call it here, just a couple of dabs of that. And now I'm going to take some parsley, but I'm going to take some dried parsley instead and spread around that. So what I'm going to give, just to a little bit of moisture, I'm going to use a little bit of my sauce, which is on my other video, the pimento paste. But if you didn't make this or you don't have it, no problem. You can put in some ketchup I would put in, for this size, about 1/4 cup of ketchup. So I'm just going to give it one squeeze just to show that it's okay. Now you take the whole mixture and you mix it up really, really good at this stage. If it becomes a little dry, just add a little bit more ketchup or the pimento paste. So here we have our tofu meat mixture, and here we have our filling. Now I'm going to show you, and I'm back. So on the counter I put 2 pieces of foil wrap on the counter in order to do the work. And now what we do is we take our meat mixture here and we put it right in the center of the plastic wrap, and we are going to now have to use our hands to mold everything. So the way I do it is I just bring it down like this, almost the same way as making sushi, and I try to bring it down and keep it as square as possible. Now I know some guys will say, well, no, he's doing it the wrong way because I would do it like that. Well, you know something? You want to do it your way, you just go right ahead and do it your way. I like to do it my way. This is the way I like. This is the way I've been doing it and the way I feel comfortable. And you can see now we have it into a nice square. There we go. Bring her down a little bit more. Make sure all the holes are closed. Now we take the filling and I just spread that on left and right. I go right to the edge, but on the front part and the back part I give it about 1/2 inch to 1 inch, so when I roll it, it's going to seal. Now it's important to get it right to the edge on your left and your right. I know a lot of people haven't seen meatloaf like this and hey, that's not my meatloaf, my mother never made it like that, and I was watching YouTube since 2007, I never seen anything like that. Well, if you don't like it, you don't like it. I like it. Now, all we have to do is lift the back part like this, and we just go over like this on the first part, and we squeeze down like that. There you go, see? But bring the plastic back. You don't want to wrap it in with the plastic. I mean, the last thing you want is to cook it with the plastic. And just lift up like this and roll. There we go. And squeeze. It's almost like a dance. Tuck and roll, tuck and roll. Okay, bring the plastic back and roll again. Here we go. And we just squeeze down. If you lose control of the plastic, don't worry about it. If it doesn't look good because you made a mistake, don't worry about it. Look how it's starting to look. Isn't that beautiful? And then one more time, we're up. And the bottom back edge will be on the bottom. And you can see the plastic will come out without any problems. And there is our meatloaf. Absolutely perfect. Look at that. My mother would be so proud. And here we go. What I'm going to be using is a pizza tray. As long as in the oven you have another tray on the bottom that will absorb anything that comes out of there and it won't mess up. Your oven will be fine. And the reason I like using this is because I get a more even cooking temperature around it. So now what you do is just take the plastic out, very gently, drop her down, roll her, roll her, roll her. She'll come right off. Watch, see, comes off and comes off. Now you pick it up very gently and you put it in the middle. And if you have any fingerprints in, now's the time to get it out. Now this does not have to be cooked that long because it's not meat and everything has been pre-cooked and the soys are pre-cooked. So this will go into the oven. I would say about 300 degrees for about 30-35 minutes, and until it starts to turn just a little bit golden brown. But you don't want it too well cooked because this is not meat and it will dry out and become very brittle. So now and we're back. It has been cooking for about 30-35 minutes at a temperature about 3 to 325. So how do you tell it's done? You take one of these little wooden spears and you go right any place in the middle. I did this while it was in the oven, and I stab it right into the middle. I bring it out and it's dry. So this is it. very simple, our meatloaf. Thank you very much, and I will see you again on my next series.